Okay, hello YouTubers, it's Red Elwick here, and I've not been making many little videos lately. The reason is because you may know yourself now that the sound quality isn't very good. The device I normally record on is my Samsung phone, and I don't know what happened. Maybe it just gets worse over the years, but the microphone isn't great. I've noticed each progressive video I've made, the sound quality gets worse and worse. But I'm making this video response to Toking Tommy's 300 subs competition. I hope you can hear me okay. And Toking Tommy is giving away some prizes, but that's not why I'm doing this. It's just really being involved and staying in touch with the pipe smoking community. And he poses there's four things that he wants for his competition entries. But first of all, I'll start with housekeeping. I've got one of my favourite Dracula pipes, which is the 221, and I've got some Special Flake number 2, Samuel Garlic number 2, it's one of my favourites. So, Tommy's four things that he wants to know is, how did you get into pipe smoking, is the first one. Okay. Sounds like I'm rushing this, but because I'm consciously thinking about the memory on my phone and the quality of the sound, so I need to remember to keep my voice level up. Strange how I got into pipe smoking. It's a bit of a stupid one, really. My dad was always a cigarette smoker from as long as I could remember, until I was around about 16 or 17, and he had a big heart attack, and it was touch and go wherever he lived, and the doctors told him it was in no small part due to the cigarettes that he smoked. And being a teenager, a little bit naive and that, and I thought, well, I know that my dad's dad was a pipe smoker and lived till his mid-80s or something like that, and I know that my mum's dad was a pipe smoker and lived to be, I think it was 96. So I sort of thought, well, if he switches from cigarettes to pipe smoking, he's going to give himself a better chance. I didn't honestly think that my dad would be able to give up cigarettes cold turkey, that he'd have to go to something else. So I went to the shop and I bought him this pipe, this very pipe. Got the one with a special grip because my dad had dentures. Bought him that pipe and some tobacco and some other things, and basically said, here you are, Dad, switch to smoking a pipe, it'll get you off the cigarettes. But he sort of was like, well, he's grateful, but it was like, no, it's not my sort of thing. And he just stopped smoking cigarettes cold turkey, just like that. It was like he'd never been on them. There was no sort of or he never showed any indication of any cravings or getting twitchy about not smoking cigarettes. Just went straight off and says, no, it's going to kill me, off the cigarettes, bang. Wow, that's impressive. But it's not that I can't stand to see something not being used, but I kept the pipe and had it for a few years, and I kept having the smell of the tobacco and thinking, wow, this smells really nice. I really do like Special Flake number 2. And I'd grown up with Tolkien, The Hobbit, and Lord of the Rings. My brother bought me on vinyl the audio book version on some collection of vinyl records. That was when I was about 9 years old. So there was always these characters who were somehow connected with, they would be smoking pipe weed. And so I sort of get that at the back of my mind, and the love of, I like the idea of pipes, and I've got this pipe that I bought that my dad had never used, and I've got this pipe tobacco. This just doesn't want to go today. So I got this pipe tobacco. So when I was around about 18 years old, I thought, well, I'll have a go. Started smoking it and loved it. And I wasn't a cigarette smoker at first. I'd had a few, like most teenagers, I had one or two. But I really enjoyed the pipe smoking. So then I got into, there was a big specialist tobacco shop in Wolverhampton where I live, and it was the kind of thing you walk in and it was like something that you see in diagonally off the Harry Potter films. That was just jars and jars of all these different tobaccos with these amazing, you walk in, the smell hit you, these amazing smells of the different Cavendish and things like that, all the aromatics. There was loads of these really fantastic looking, weird and wonderful pipes in the window. I remember being drawn to the church warden pipes, and I've got some here. Excuse me going off camera a sec. What we do? In my box of old pipes. Okay, yeah, so I've still got some of the old church wardens that was in James's tobacco shop in Wolverhampton. And I loved these, and I was smoking these, and I never really got off pipe smoking. It's always been something I've sort of done in front of people that I sort of know and trust, but they have to get to know people first before, as if they're, there's some people that are a bit like, huh, what? I took a pipe out and started smoking it in front of people I've only known for a while, and they're like, oh, I like your gun. And so like, weird, strange comments that they come out with, like, what is that a gun? I don't know. There was a bit of prejudice that it was a sort of an old man's kind of thing, and people go, oh, you remind me of my granddad smoking that. So I digress. Going into 8 minutes now, and I've already started to waffle on. So yeah, I got into pipe smoking because I tried to get my dad off cigarettes, and in the end he stopped himself, and I ended up taking up the pipe. That in a nutshell is what happened. Okay, favourite colour. My little daughter's always asking me this, the 8-year-old, what's your favourite colour, Dad? I always struggle to give different answers. Historically, I guess, but from early age, I always liked the colour purple, a deep colour purple. But in all truth, it depends more on the shade. I was thinking this the other day, you can get different shades of red, different shades of blue. I like the colour green. I was looking at a plant outside the kitchen window and thinking about this, because the same plant, the older leaves were a dark matte green, but the newer leaves were a glossy, vibrant light green, and they were really beautiful. So it's not the colour, it's the shade. It's whether it's glossy or matte or whatever. So there's a lot of factors. But if I had to pick one and give one flat overall answer, probably purple. But green comes a close second. Okay. Okay. Tobacco preference. I've always preferred aromatics, although I'll have a go at anything, and there's some things that surprise you. And the last one, he wanted us here see if I can get it on.
Your best, worst joke. If you don't know what I mean by that, I mean, think of it as your best dad joke.
Your best dad joke, your best worst joke. One guy that I listen to who tends to in his talks come out with bad jokes, and he's quite happy to admit that they're bad jokes. A guy I listen to called Ajahn Brahm, who is a Buddhist abbot. Originally he was English, but he works and lives in Australia now, and he does talks on Buddhism that go on for, he does regular talks, not so much Buddhism but more like way of life and how it affects the Buddhism, and the talks last for about an hour, and he tends to throw in one or two of his bad jokes, and here's one of his that I kind of liked. Okay, he says this man goes to the pictures, the cinema, and he's going to watch a film, and he notices that the man in front is blind, and he's got his guide dog with him sitting in the aisle, and the blind man's sitting there listening to everything that's going on in the film, but the guy that sat behind him notices that the guide dog is also listening and watching the film, and he thinks that's a bit strange. And then he notices a part of the film that's a bit scary, and he watches and the guide dog's ears drop and his tail lies flat, and the dog looks a bit nervous and frightened, and he thinks, is this dog actually watching the film? Is he actually understanding what's going on? And then a few minutes later there's a bit of comic relief to the scary bit. Something funny happens and everybody bursts out in nervous laughter, and the dog's tail starts going. And he thinks, is the dog actually finding that bit funny as well, or is he just picking up the audience? He's laughing and he's cheered up. Anyway, later on in the film, there's a really funny bit, a really happy bit, and everybody's sort of laughing away, and the dog's tail's flapping away, and its ears pick up like as if somebody just told him he's going for a walk, you know. And you think, I'm sure this dog is actually watching this. And then later on, towards the end of the film, there's a really sad bit. People are going their separate ways, and everybody's starting to choke up and tear up. And he looks at the dog and he thinks, yeah, the dog looks really downbeat. Its shoulders are dropped, its head's on one side, its ears are dropped. The dog is actually sad about what's happening in the film. And then at the end of the film, everybody's picked up, feeling happy, and the dog looks happy and its tail's going. People have really enjoyed this film. It's a fantastic film. And the dog looked like he's really enjoyed the film as well. And the man behind the blind man is blown away by this. He can't believe that a dog, okay, guide dogs are clever, but this dog has really enjoyed this film. Really enjoyed it. And the guy thinks, I wonder if the blind man knows how intelligent his dog is to actually sit there and watch this film and take it all in and enjoy it. I wonder if he knows. I've got to tell him, because he might not be aware of this. So the film's finished and everybody's getting up, and this guy says to the blind man, he says, excuse me, there's something I've got to tell you. He says, it's about your dog. He says, do you know your dog was sat there watching this film throughout, and he really, really enjoyed this film. Isn't that amazing? And the blind man goes, really? He actually enjoyed the film? He says, yeah, that is amazing, you're right, that is amazing, because he flipping hated the book. So, there you go. That's my bad joke, as I heard it from Ajahn Brahm, and he's got many more. So that's it, that's my bit, that's my colour, how I got into pipe smoking, tobacco preference, and my joke. Hope I'm not too late to enter the competition, but it's just more to put my little bit in as well. I'm going to see if I can get this to actually start, because the tobacco is a bit dry, and I'm going to enjoy this with a coffee now while this downloads. I'm going to have to get some new device to record on, because there's a few things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about how I've been getting on with vaping, and about my vaping set that I'm using at the moment, which is a Camry Legend Legend 5 with Kangatech Subtank Plus. The issues, the problems, whatever that I've had with this. Yeah, so and how I'm getting on with different pipe tobaccos, etc. as well. So thanks guys. Look forward to hearing from you. As always, I'm always watching as people put new videos out. It's great to stay in touch with the sort of pipe community, and I look forward to making videos in the future. Okay, bye.